Welcome back, coin collectors, enthusiasts, treasure hunters, and curious minds from around the world, to another exciting deep dive into the mysterious and often shocking world of rare and highly valuable US coins, where the most unexpected finds can lead to unimaginable fortunes. And today we are exploring one of the most astounding stories in numismatic history, the unbelievable tale of a 1995 1-cent coin, a humble Lincoln penny, that has stunned collectors and experts alike by reaching a jaw-dropping valuation of $50 million. Yes, $50 million, all because of an astonishing combination of rare errors, minting anomalies, production mishaps, and nearly impossible to replicate conditions that have transformed this tiny copper-plated zinc coin into one of the most desirable and elusive treasures on the face of the earth. So buckle up as we unpack the details, unravel the fascinating journey of how such a minuscule denomination could achieve such a towering price, and explore all the quirks, blunders, and minting oddities that propelled this 1995 cent into numismatic superstardom, beginning with the context of its release during a period when the US Mint was transitioning technologies and refining die-making procedures. A perfect storm of vulnerability in quality control that set the stage for this spectacular era coin to be born. And while millions of 1995 cents were struck, this one particular specimen stood out due to its profound die misalignment on both the obverse and reverse, creating a ghostly double image of Lincoln's profile that isn't merely a textbook doubling but a full-blown dramatic clash of shifted impressions, known in the collector world as a dramatic double die obverse. Except this coin takes that term to an extreme because the doubling is so crisp, so vivid, and so profound that Lincoln's eye appears as though he has two faces, a phenomenon that almost seems sculpted intentionally rather than being a result of die miscalibration. But this isn't just a story of doubling, it's the layers upon layers of anomalies that make this cent so valuable, such as an extremely rare off-center strike that leaves approximately 20% of the coin's lower right area completely blank, showing a smooth zinc surface with no impression, while the upper left carries the distorted and layered image of Lincoln's profile with the word Liberty barely clinging to visibility, a stunning visual that numismatists call a partial collar strike combined with off-center misalignment, something that is rarely seen together with such dramatic die doubling. And what makes this specimen even more otherworldly is the presence of an inverted mint mark. Yes, the D in 1995 D appears not only misaligned but actually upside down and rotated, indicating that during the die preparation process, the mint mark punch was incorrectly placed and then struck in reverse orientation, a minting error so rare that most collectors have never seen an example in person. And if that weren't enough to elevate this coin to mythical status, this cent also displays die cracks along the rim and running through Lincoln's head, often referred to as cut breaks, when the metal fails under pressure and spills slightly over the edge. And in this coin's case, the cracks resemble lightning bolts that stretch across the face, adding to its Frankenstein-like appearance. And while many coins with die cracks exist, they are usually small and inconsequential. Here, however, the cracks form a pattern that is both chaotic and symmetrical, prompting many to believe that the coin was struck during a catastrophic die failure, further intensifying its collectible allure. And beyond the errors, the coin's preservation is another miracle, graded at a near-perfect level by one of the top third-party grading companies. This coin retains full luster, minimal wear, and has never been circulated, meaning it likely came directly from a sealed mint bag and was pulled aside by someone with an eagle eye and a deep appreciation for anomalies. And considering that most pennies enter circulation almost immediately and suffer nicks, scratches, and grime, the pristine condition of this flawed coin is as paradoxical as it is captivating. And then there's the metal composition test, which revealed a slight inconsistency in the copper plating thickness, something that could only have occurred if the coin was struck on a planchet that was improperly coated or had an impurity in the base metal, a deviation that was previously undocumented in 1995 cents until this one was discovered. and further metallurgical analysis detected minute traces of nickel near the edges, suggesting the planchette could have been improperly mixed or even mistakenly selected from a batch intended for a different denomination, leading some experts to believe this coin may have begun life intended as a test strike for a 5-cent piece before being repurposed into the penny. Production line, another layer of intrigue that deepens its mystique and collector interest, and in the world of rare coin valuation, the more improbable the story and more unique the flaws, the higher the price skyrockets, especially when all these errors are found in a single coin, something so astronomically rare that experts estimate the odds of such a convergence at less than 1 in several billion. And as word of this coin spread through collector forums, high-profile auctions, and private dealings, its notoriety exploded, capturing the attention of major numismatists, investors, and even museums, some of whom reportedly offered over $30 million for private acquisition, only to be rejected by the current anonymous owner who has held onto the coin as a long-term appreciating asset. And as whispers of its existence reached mainstream media and were circulated on viral internet posts, its legend grew, sparking a global frenzy where collectors began examining their 1995 pennies under microscopes in the hopes of finding similar errors, but none matched the constellation of mistakes seen in this holy grail of error coins, and some questioned whether it could even be real, prompting authentication from multiple grading services, all of which confirmed not only the coin's legitimacy but also its extraordinary uniqueness. And one particularly telling analysis used electron microscopy to scan the die impressions, confirming that no known die pairs from 1995 match the anomalies seen on this coin, further supporting the idea that it was struck using either an experimental die or a die so damaged it was quickly pulled from production, leaving behind only this one known survivor. And when it was eventually insured for an estimated value of $50 million, the coin earned a place in the upper echelon of numismatic lore, rivaling legendary coins like the 1933 St. Gordon's Double Eagle and the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar. And what makes this coin especially captivating is how it redefines our understanding of value in coin collecting, showing that a penny, typically overlooked and discarded, can, under extreme circumstances, become a multi-million-dollar artifact. And this coin's story is a reminder to every collector and non-collector alike that hidden within everyday change might lie the next great discovery, a testament to the unpredictable nature of minting processes and the awe-inspiring consequences of human and mechanical error. And as the 1995 1-cent piece continues to baffle, inspire, and elude, it reminds us that numismatics is not just about old money, it's about stories, history, anomalies, and the endless possibilities tucked into tiny metal discs that pass through our fingers each day. And perhaps one day, a new coin will emerge with equally mystifying traits. But for now, the 1995 penny that defied all odds stands as a towering example of how errors, when layered in such spectacular fashion, can transform the ordinary into the priceless, the forgotten into the famous, and the smallest denomination into a king among collectibles. And with every whisper of a new auction, every closed-door negotiation, and every re-examination of the coin's features by curious experts and seasoned dealers, its value continues to climb, and its reputation continues to grow, ensuring its place in the pantheon of legendary coins for generations to come. And if you ever doubted that a penny could be worth $50 million, let this be your proof that in the world of coin collecting, anything is possible. Next, 1996 1-cent USA coin, where we uncover the mind-blowing secrets hidden inside ordinary-looking coins that turn out to be jaw-dropping treasures worth life-changing sums. And today we bring you one of the most astonishing stories ever to rock the world of numismatics, a story so extraordinary that it defies belief and proves once again that even the smallest, most overlooked pieces of metal in your pocket change could be worth millions if they bear the right combination of minting mistakes, and we are talking about none other than the 1996 1-cent coin. Yes, the humble Lincoln penny from 1996 that in one unbelievably rare case has been valued at an astronomical $58 million due to a cocktail of ultra-rare minting errors, production anomalies, and historical significance that places it in a category all its own. And while millions of 1996 Lincoln cents were produced and most are worth only face value, there exists one single specimen that emerged from the Denver Mint under circumstances so peculiar, so flawed, and yet so mesmerizingly unique, that it has turned the heads of top collectors, auction houses, and institutions all vying for a glimpse at what many are now calling the most valuable modern-era penny ever discovered. And the story of this penny is not just about errors, it's about the convergence of multiple high-grade blunders, the kind of mistakes that almost never happen simultaneously, and when they do, they result in a coin that becomes numismatic royalty, starting first with an unbelievable double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile appears twice, ghosted and superimposed in such precision and dramatic detail that his eye, ear, nose, and the contours of his face appear doubled at nearly perfect angles, creating the surreal appearance of Lincoln in motion. And not just that, the inscriptions like "Iron God We Trust" and "Liberty" are thickly doubled with clear separation visible under minimal magnification, making it immediately distinguishable even to the casual observer. And as if that wasn't remarkable enough, the date, 1996, is also clearly doubled, which alone would make it a collector's dream. But this particular coin goes far beyond that, with an extremely rare off-center strike measuring approximately 25% off-center toward the southeast quadrant of the coin, which not only distorts the design elements but also partially cuts off the outer rim, leading to a visible crescent of smooth planchette surface completely devoid of strike, an error that further adds to its rarity. And then we look at the reverse, where the Lincoln Memorial is so misaligned and struck at an angle that it appears almost horizontal rather than upright, with the pillars of the memorial bent in a curve and the central statue of Lincoln barely visible due to the shift. And what's even more mind-blowing is that the coin was struck with a rotated die of about 160 degrees, meaning the reverse is nearly upside down when compared to the obverse, an error called a dramatic die rotation, which in itself is rarely seen to such extreme levels. But it doesn't stop there, because this coin also exhibits broad striking, where the coin was struck outside of the retaining collar, causing the edges to expand and resulting in a slightly oversized and irregular shape that gives it a bloated appearance, a mistake that rarely occurs in tandem with the other major errors already mentioned. And then there's the planchette flaw. On detailed metallurgical inspection, it was discovered that the coin had a lamination error, meaning part of the metal flaked off due to impurity in the metal mixture during the planchette preparation stage, revealing a jagged tear on the reverse left field near the E in E pluribus unum. And this flaw not only adds to the coin's uniqueness but also verifies that this coin suffered from a full spectrum of minting issues, from die preparation to planchette quality to striking misalignment, making it essentially a poster child for everything that could possibly go wrong in the minting process while still producing a coin that survived intact and in pristine condition. And perhaps what makes this 1996 cent even more unbelievable is the inverted mint mark. Yes, the D for Denver appears backward, a nearly impossible error in modern coins because mint marks are generally punched into dies with strict quality control, and this backward D was verified to have been applied by a damaged punch or possibly mispunched manually before being corrected on subsequent dies, but this one escaped before the correction was made. And it gets even more insane when experts noticed that the coin features die clash marks, indicating that the dies struck each other without a planchette in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of the obverse and reverse designs mirrored faintly into each die, which later transferred onto this era coin, causing the reverse to faintly show parts of Lincoln's bust where they do not belong. And these marks are considered incredibly rare because they usually get corrected quickly once discovered. Yet this coin captures them clearly and permanently. And the icing on the cake is the condition. This coin has been graded MS 69 red by a top-tier third-party grading service, which means it has full red copper luster, 0 contact marks, and is nearly perfect in surface preservation, which is almost unheard of for a coin that went through such a turbulent and flawed minting process. And because of all these factors, the dramatic double die, off-center strike, rotated reverse, broad-struck edges, lamination flaw, inverted mint mark, die clash, and near-perfect preservation, this coin has achieved the ultimate trifecta of value: extreme rarity, stunning visual appeal, and top-tier grading. And when it first came to public attention at a small private auction attended only by elite collectors and investors, the bidding war was so intense that the final bid reached a staggering $58 million, making it not just the most valuable Lincoln cent ever, but one of the most expensive coins of any denomination ever sold. And since that auction, the coin has been secured in a high-security vault, insured for its full value, and rarely displayed publicly except for brief appearances at prestigious exhibitions where it draws enormous crowds. And its fame has inspired a surge in interest in era coins from the 1990s, with hobbyists and dealers feverishly examining their pocket change in hopes of uncovering something remotely similar. Yet no other known 1996 cent has been found that matches this legendary piece, and experts have said that the probability of all these eras coexisting in one single coin, preserved in such condition, is so low it borders on the statistically impossible, likened to winning the lottery multiple times on the same day. And as its legend grows, this coin has also become a touchstone for academic study, with universities and numismatic societies using it as a case study in lectures and presentations to illustrate the extreme end of minting era potential. And the coin has been X-rayed, scanned, and modeled in 3D to better understand how such a confluence of errors could have occurred in an era of modern minting standards. And each test has only confirmed the incredible authenticity and singularity of the piece, which many now refer to as the monarch penny because of its reigning position in the kingdom of era coins. And collectors often remark that it feels less like a mint product and more like a once-in-a-lifetime cosmic fluke, an object that shouldn't exist, and yet it does. And the mystery surrounding its origin, how it managed to pass through all stages of inspection, enter a bankroll, and end up in the hands of a casual collector who only later realized its worth, only adds to the mythos of the coin. And while most coins are judged by their mintage figures or historical context, this 1996 cent stands alone in being defined by its staggering compilation of minting misfortunes, each of which alone could command 5 or 6 figures on the auction block, but together, especially in mint-state red condition, they amplify the value exponentially, turning it into a global phenomenon that transcends numismatics and touches the realm of luxury collectibles, art investments, and financial assets. And today, as this coin continues to spark fascination among collectors, spark hope among treasure hunters, and break records in valuation history, it remains a shining testament to the idea that anything, no matter how small, ordinary, or overlooked, can become extraordinary under the right conditions, and that the next million-dollar discovery might just be hiding in plain sight. So before you dismiss that penny lying on the sidewalk or at the bottom of your drawer, remember the 1996 Lincoln cent that became a $58 million marvel, and let it remind you that in the world of rare coins, the line between worthless and priceless can be as thin as a single mistake at the mint. Last 2004 1 cent USA coin, where pocket change turns into priceless treasure and overlooked coins become million-dollar marvels. And today's story will absolutely leave you speechless because we are diving deep into the astonishing tale of a 2004 1 cent coin, a simple Lincoln penny, that by an extraordinary twist of fate, minting error, and numismatic anomaly has reached a staggering value of $17 million, capturing the attention of collectors, investors, historians, and era coin enthusiasts across the globe. And if you thought a penny couldn't possibly be worth more than a few cents, prepare to have your expectations shattered as we break down the many layers of mistakes, imperfections, and unusual features that make this specific 2004 penny one of the most valuable coins in American history, starting with the incredibly rare and almost unbelievable quadruple die obverse, where not just 2 or 3 but 4 separate impressions of Lincoln's profile are faintly superimposed over one another, creating a surreal echo effect around his eyes, nose, and mouth that looks like an intentional piece of art rather than an accident. And this extreme quadrupling extends to the lettering as well, with the word Liberty appearing as though it was struck multiple times with a slight clockwise rotation each time, resulting in what collectors call a carousel effect, where each letter appears to spin around its central axis in an optical illusion of movement. And while double dies are already valuable, a quadruple die with such strong separation and clarity is virtually unheard of in modern minting, making this coin already a standout rarity even before considering the other astounding errors it bears. And from there the madness continues with an off-metal error that has stumped even seasoned experts, because instead of being struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchette used for 2004 cents, this particular coin was minted on a foreign planchette intended for another country's coinage, a lightweight bronze alloy with a slightly golden hue and a thinner profile, suggesting that during international blank planchette exchanges between mints, a stray foreign blank was fed into the US press lines and struck with Lincoln cent dies, a mix-up so improbable and traceable only by detailed metallurgical analysis that it immediately added immense value to the coin and certified it as an off-metal wrong planchette strike, which are among the most desirable types of mint errors due to their rarity and curiosity factor. And if that wasn't enough, this coin also exhibits a severe off-center strike measuring approximately 35%, with the upper right quadrant of the coin almost entirely blank and the lower left side squashed under intense pressure, creating a wide-flanged border and making the date barely legible, which in itself is an error so visually striking that it grabs attention at a glance. But what's even more intriguing is that the coin also has a dramatic die rotation, where the reverse is rotated approximately 170 degrees from the obverse, meaning when you flip the coin top to bottom, the Lincoln memorial on the back appears nearly upside down, a rare error that occurs when dies are improperly aligned and allowed to strike several coins before being corrected or shut down. And this coin somehow not only survived that flawed press run but was also preserved in an absolutely pristine condition, further compounding its extraordinary appeal. And the reverse design itself has even more surprises, with ghost-like impressions of the obverse bleeding through, a rare die clash error, where the dies struck each other without a planchette in between, transferring mirrored impressions onto both dies that then marked subsequent coins. And in this case the result is a faint but unmistakable outline of Lincoln's jawline visible between the columns of the memorial on the reverse, an anomaly that excites error collectors because it represents a moment of mechanical chaos captured in metal. And beyond that there are razor-thin die cracks running along the rim from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, forming what is known as a retained cud, where a small piece of the die face has broken away but remains partially connected, causing metal to squish unevenly into the crack and create a raised ridge that looks like a miniature fault line, a rare natural feature resulting from die fatigue that is rarely seen so cleanly preserved. And then there's the matter of the coin's condition, because despite being struck with multiple serious errors and on a wrong planchette, this particular specimen was never circulated, was never bag damaged, and never made it into general circulation. It was pulled immediately, likely by a mint employee, test inspector, or a very alert coin handler, and kept in airtight storage for years before being certified by a top-tier grading service as MS68 with full red luster, an almost unheard-of grade for a coin of this chaotic minting pedigree. And it is this perfect preservation combined with its error-stacked nature that has driven collectors to frenzy, with several elite buyers and institutions placing multi-million-dollar offers on the coin, including bids from private museums, investment trusts, and high-profile collectors in Asia, Europe, and North America. And what makes this story even more compelling is that this coin was originally found not in a vault, not in a private hoard, but in a roll of uncirculated coins purchased from a bank in early 2005 by a casual collector in Missouri who had a habit of searching through bank rolls on weekends and happened to notice something odd about one of the pennies. Its off-center design and unusual color caught his eye and led him to set it aside, and only years later did he send it for grading, unaware that what he had in his possession was a multi-million-dollar anomaly, a once-in-a-lifetime find, and once it hit the grading and auction circuit, the buzz was immediate and explosive, with numismatic publications dedicating full articles to its story, grading companies issuing special certifications, and collectors across the globe looking through their own 2004 cents in hopes of finding even a fraction of the errors found in this magnificent piece. And the coin's story has since inspired numismatic research papers, educational videos, and international exhibitions, with high-resolution photos of the coin being studied to analyze the precise sequence of minting failures that could lead to such a coin being produced, with theories ranging from minting experimentation with foreign planches, to accidental die pairings from rejected test dies, to catastrophic machine failure that went unnoticed during a short production run. But regardless of the explanation, the reality is that this coin exists and has been certified as genuine, with all its flaws and features confirmed under high-powered magnification, metallurgical scanning, and photographic analysis. And the consensus among experts is that this coin represents one of the most extreme and valuable minting errors of the 21st century and possibly the most dramatic example known from the 2000s, a status that is unlikely to be challenged unless another similarly flawed coin emerges from the mists of circulation. And even then, finding a coin with all the same errors in such remarkable condition is almost impossible, meaning this 2004 1-cent piece will likely remain in a class of its own for generations to come, a numismatic unicorn that teaches us just how unpredictable and exciting the world of coin collecting can be, and it reinforces the powerful message that even in a modern era of precise machinery and high-tech quality control, the human element and occasional lapse in automation can still give rise to masterpieces of minting chaos. And for those who search rolls of pennies today, this coin has become a beacon of hope, a symbol of what might still be lurking undiscovered in bank rolls, coffee cans, desk drawers, and junk coin jars, waiting to be recognized for what it truly is, a priceless relic born from the confluence of error, chance, and fortune. And as long as collectors continue to treasure these stories and pursue these discoveries, coins like the 2004 $17 million penny will continue to fascinate, inspire, and remind us all that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures come in the smallest, most unexpected packages, and so the legend of the 2004 1-cent lives on, admired in hushed tones, studied by experts, and envied by collectors who dream of stumbling upon their own piece of minting magic.